And I use this more for protection. I don't use it for entries. Um, since we're over here, where was my example I wanted to show you earlier? Right here. This, okay, we got this big slam down. You didn't want to enter here because we had blown through the 7 HMA. So you waited until we got back inside of it, and then you sell. And then see, it blows through it again and comes back up inside of it, whether it went down next or not. Pretty much the same thing happened here. We blew through it. We came back inside. We blew through it, came back inside, blew through it, came back inside. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes? No? Questions? Okay. This up here is the 50 EMA. And as I was showing in the Discord, you know, they kept talking about, okay, we're going to buy up here. Well, you can see we hit the 50 EMA and we dropped. We came up here, we almost hit it, we dropped. Now there's some kind of rule about the third hit usually breaks through, and it did, even though it didn't last. And I don't know where they were getting their POC, because here's where I had POC, and you can see that it was being respected an awful lot. Their POC was like clear up here somewhere, or maybe it was in here. But even on the 15-minute, I don't even see a POC. But yeah, I use the 7, the 14, the 21, the 50, and this is a 200 up here. I believe this is a 200 HMA. This is a 200 EMA. The 200 HMA I was using before VWAP was available on Ninja. I don't see it used much. This is where all your activity normally takes place. And basically, I guess I'm a pattern trader. You know, I'm looking for where things are being respected. Like we went up here, we hit this, and then we dropped. So next time you hit it, you can scalp another short. Let's see, here was an entry. Oh, this this is where I did 10 contracts to get green again. I don't know what else to tell you. This is my stochastic settings. And the way I always set any kind of oscillator, I only use stochastic, but you can do the same with any kind of oscillator, is basically you set your fast line to match the peaks, and that should put your lows down here at the lows. And as you can see, it does. Same thing here. We broke this. This is what happens when you chase. You know, it's like, okay, boy, we finally broke it. We're going to go all the way up to the 200. Or, you know, who knows? But, let's see, what was I trying to say? This is what happens when you chase. Well, you were up here in the 80%, so no, it's probably not going to continue. But you can see when we came down, we were below the 20, and we took off up again. So those are my two biggies, the 7 HMA and stochastic. So why do I use the 7, 14, and 21? Well, you can see over here that the 21 is almost the same as the 50 when you go up 3 time frames. It work. This is a bad example, but usually, like the 7 over here will be the same as the 21 over here. I should have taken that trade. Now I start looking at levels. How many times do we get rejected up here? Now these are volume something or others. They're not bubbles, but it's similar to Bookmap. And as you can see, there was a bunch of sellers here. But when you're going up, and you see sellers, a lot of times that is just sell to close. Order flow, right there, order flow trade detector. So somebody fire off some questions. Well, this is what I keep telling everybody about the daily pivots and how they almost always get hit. Well, if we go to yesterday or last night and whatnot, all we did was kept going up, 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 up. And you're thinking, there's no way it's coming down here to this. But almost, like I say, almost always it comes down here. And you can see the open. There's your open, this blue box. It was almost as if the whole drop was to do nothing but hit that daily central pivot. Now, unfortunately, my volume profile starts at midnight. Well, it's not even starting at midnight. I guess it's starting I don't know why it's starting at 9 o'clock. I've tried to change it, but I decided to leave it because you can see that it's definitely using this line even after the open. I trade NQ and gold. That is it. I don't mess with ES. To me, when I first started trading, it was over at OneUp Trader, and they had their own little room. And anytime anybody came in and asked about ES, we all practically laughed them out of the room because which is going to show you more. Like this entire move here, we're looking at from 98 to 28. That's 30 points. That same move on ES is less than 10. So which is going to show you more information? In a 30-point move or a 9-point move? And there's that hit to the 200, and we drop. Now, I'm a scalper. I normally take 7 points at a time. So we had this big move. We're almost up in there. I would have had a sell order here or here. But then again, I also consider the time of day and try to figure out, are we going to buy into the close or are we going to sell into the close? And yeah, today was a rough day, so it's really kind of hard to decide if they're going to buy or sell into the close. I tried to not show all this other stuff. I don't know why it's still showing. These are hourly pivots. This box is your hourly central pivot. Normally, I don't sell an R1. I may sell an R2. R4s are definitely a sell for a quick scalp. I only do minis. You would think, judging by this stochastic, that you could get in when this hits the bottom and ride it till it gets up here. But I've seen too many. I even built a robot that did that, and it only lost money. And I think it's because of wicks. Yeah, here's an example. I'll move this up. So like we hit bottom here, and we were down here. So we went up, apparently, and then let's see. It's hard to tell, but chances are you would have got wicked out, and then the trend continued, depending on how many points. I don't think I set the EA up to buy 7 points. I think I was looking more for more. Let's see. So you're in sell. Wouldn't they get wicked out on that one? Okay, I've also got a video on candle behavior. And during power hour, I definitely add that theory in as well. So, like when we were sitting here and we saw this come back down and went up, it came back down, went up even less, came back down. That kind of tells me that okay, the up move is over. I can get a quick 7 points on a sell. Normally, what I do when it comes to number of trades a day, it just varies. I'm a firm believer in if I'm absolutely positive that this is going to continue. So we hit bottom and we immediately raced up. Where did we race up to? Well, we even crossed the 3 EMAs. That tells me that this trend is going to continue for at least 7 points. Our stochastic is telling us that we got a cross of the two. So I'm confident that we're going to get at least 7 points here. So I will use anywhere from 7 to 5 contracts. If I take 3 trades max a day, that gets me to my profit goal for the day. I'm doing trade day, and you have to trade for 7 days, and the average on that I think is $847. You can't make any more than $1,800 in a day because they have a 30% rule. So I usually shoot for around $1,000. But there's today's P&L. I made this last night trading gold. It's just getting to the point where daytime trading is just scary. Too many wicks, huge wicks. The other day, when I blew an account, well, we had an 80-point candle, including the wicks. I have been trading since 2005, so 20 years. I started out trading stocks, and after about 2-3 months, I got a good example of how corrupt the stock market was, especially when it comes to those what they call penny stocks, anywhere from $1 to $5. Some people say $1 to $25, but there was a company that came out with a trading platform for the Chinese. The Chinese, in order to buy stocks, they have to go down to the bank and sit there on a bench. They watch a big board on the wall, and uh, when they want to buy, they have to go up to a teller and buy their stock. Well, this particular company supposedly came out with a platform similar to NinjaTrader or one of the others, and that would allow the Chinese to trade. Well, the stock immediately shot up from like $1.38 to just over $5. And I got in at 5, and we the next day it was up to $6.30, and I didn't take it because I figured there'd be a little more upside, and when it came down, I bought even more. That same day, one guy posted everywhere he could about, oh, it's a scam, this and that, and everything. And it tanked the stock. And when I saw that one person can tank a stock, I said, that's it. This is too corrupt. But I also had a couple of Forex charts that I was watching. This was over at Interactive Brokers, and I tried a couple of, I don't remember which pair it was. It was US dollar, maybe the euro, and I made money. And shoot, I did it again. I thought, this is easy. So then I got into Forex with all the corrupt Forex brokers and did that up until about 2014. And that's when I got into futures. And I sat around and I went to everybody's webinars and let's see. I'm looking at the different ways other people trade. I took that Fibonacci course, and I finally just had to tell myself, okay, quit looking at what everybody else is doing and master what you see. And what was working for me in Forex was these EMAs. And in Forex, because you've got all these different charges and they widen the spread about the time you're ready to take profit, it was hard to make money. But when I went to futures, and NQ is almost zero, I could make money with quick scalps. So that's just why I stuck with futures. There was a guy I've talked about before by the name of Josh Martinez. He is the son of can't think of his first name. The other Martinez that started Market Traders Institute, and he's the one that had the Fibonacci course. Josh went off on his own, and where his dad was teaching trading Fibonacci on FX. Josh was teaching it on futures. And I bought this goofy indicator off of him that they told me was already available on Ninja to begin with. And it had bands. You know, it was like, here's your first band, here's your second band, here's your third band. And when it would hit a band, you were supposed to buy. And you would automate it. So like if it hit here and you bought, you were supposed to buy it back up to the center line. Well, it wouldn't quite make it to the center line. And then your stop loss was supposed to be, you know, so far below where it hit the line, and it would come back down and take you out. And then I tried to play with it to where, like, okay, well, let's not even bother taking it up to the center line. Let's just take quick scalps with big contracts. And well, that didn't work either, because then the market started following the bands. And you know, so I've been around. I've tried all kinds of things. There was a girl by the name of Green Day Goddess out in LA. She worked for a firm, and she watched what these guys at these firms were doing, and they had a completely different Fibonacci. And basically what they were doing was Fibonacci retracement. So like they would draw it, and then what they would do was they'd take the bottom one to this number and take well, actually there's more numbers in here, so I'll add them. So what they do is they would take the one, they would take the 118, put it there, and they would take the 14 and put it there. Now I gotta move this back up. So like, and then your buys are when price break. Whoops, that's not the 118. Your buys are when you break the 118, and your sells are when price would break below the 14. And she showed her P&L for the day, and there was days when she was making $60,000 and $80,000 trading 15 to 25 contracts. And she tried to teach us, but she was such a hothead that, you know, no matter how you did it, it was like, no, you got it upside down. Blah, you know, oh, she was just annoying, but it worked for her. And that was pretty much the last strategy uh, that I ever looked at anybody else's. I did a Fibonacci video the other day. Um, mm, okay, let's go full chart. So here's your low of the day. What is it I'm looking for? Drawing tools. You're doing the retracement. So you draw like this here. You start, let's just say you think this particular candle that I'm drawing on was going to be the low of the day. Well, you can see right here, there is a kind of a box here, and we're still inside of this box. I don't think you're really going to see anything exciting happen, unless you want to bet big and do a quick scalp trade. Now, see, there it just happened again. We were below the 20, and boom, back up we went. I haven't drawn a box in a long time, so bear with me. So see, there's kind of your box right there. We've been in it since 1225. I've never heard it called that. Most of these phrases are stuff that people have come up with over the years. I won't say that they don't work. That I wouldn't call it a point and control box. I would call it more of the fair value box. Because apparently the market thinks that everything inside this box is fair value. Looks like I ran everybody off. Not everybody, but this time of day and this time of year, you have so many things to worry about. You know, everything could say, "Oh, we're supposed to go back up from here." Well, the problem is there's earnings, and if people believe that earnings are going to be bad, uh, they could continue selling. Now, this is where we add in the 15-minute stochastic, and see the 15-minute it is still kind of middle range, although this line is getting close to touching this line. It, this is just garbage, because there's just, you know, it's like, okay, we hit it here and came back down. We hit it here, came back down. This time we hit it and came back down. Well, this time we hit it and kept going. Uh, and I guess that's trading. You know, what do they say? You know, 80% of your trades work out or something like that, if you're good. Well, thank you. I sure appreciate that, Barbara. Barber. I've been doing my best trading at you know, I usually get in around 6 p.m. uh for the Asian session, and then and then the trick is to wait for a direction. I've always said that. Even during the New York session, wait for your direction. Um, okay. Uh, okay, here's my problem with small positions. Greed sets in. You're always wanting a little more. You um, you get in with 3 minis and or 3 micros, and it goes up, and you um, make, say, $100. Well, 3 minis would have been $300, and so rather than, I mean, maybe it's a good place to learn using micros. Um, and but when you're prop trading, how many people do you see that say, if you trade micros, you'll hang on to your account longer? Well, you're not in this to hang on to your account longer. You're in this to get funded. And there's people that'll be in a, I have seen over 30 days they have paid the next month's fee to continue to trade, and they're up and down, up and down, and they After 30 days of trading micros, all of a sudden they blow their account. It's like if it's going to work, it's going to work. So just after you feel comfortable trading, you definitely want to move on to minis. Now, I've heard one, I don't know. He was a pretty good trader. I don't know who he was. But he said that he has never met a successful trader that did not journal. Well, I don't journal. I'm somewhat successful. I've made withdrawals. I think the thing about journaling is more not so much about your trade, but the mood you were in when you took that trade. Yeah, I took 3 payouts in 1 week from trade day, but it's a long story. But that last okay, every time you hit a milestone at trade day, they send you an email saying we are reviewing your trades and we'll get back to you and let you know about becoming live. Well, I got that email for the third time, and I thought, I didn't pay much attention to it. I assumed uh, it was another letter saying, okay, your new milestone is, and continue trading. So I continued trading. I made $2,000 that night. I took uh, over 1,600 out. Come find out, they because they sent me another email saying you have continued to trade while your account is under review. We are removing your profit. So that $1,600 come out of what I already had built up, and that put my drawdown smaller. And that's how I ended up blowing that account. Okay, here's the thing with trade day. In order to um, get a withdrawal, no, you can withdraw on day one. I think I forgive, but uh, $5,000 is where you hit the milestone. Every $5,000. So once I hit that $5,000, anything above that, I would take a partial withdrawal until I hit the next $5,000. That's how I was doing it. I'm not sure what you were saying, but we aren't learning any bad habits with minis. The bad habits you're going to learn are with minis or micros. Now, see, you're trading a 50K account, I assume. I would there's no way I would have a 1K buffer. 3,000 minimum. Whatever whatever they tell you your drawdown is, um, for that account during eval, then you don't want to have any less than that when it comes to um, once you go live, because your brain is already wired to think, okay, I have this much that I can lose. See. I almost entered right there. But looky there. There's that 7 EMA coming into play again. We broke out of it, so we had to come back inside. No, I was going to long. Because my stochastic was still going up, and I thought I could get another quick 7 points. Now, see where my entry should have been was at these EMAs down here. But my thinking was, okay, this time we hit the 200. The next time we'll hit this 200. That's pretty. That's kind of how Fibonacci goes up as well. It'll go up to one level and then come back down, and then it'll go back up to the next level and come back down, and then up to the next one. I don't really know what difference it makes. I do not use join anything. Um, now, if I was going to sell from here, I would click sell limit. If I would have bought there, I would have bought limit. So I guess I'm using limit orders. I don't understand this. This just doesn't make any sense to me. It has something to do with available contracts, but if I put an entry right here and price comes down and touches it, isn't that the same as the market hitting it? Market if touched. Well, duh, it touched it. Same as the limit. I don't understand it. Okay, good. When you speak of algos, you mean the algos are looking at market if touched? Okay. Son of a gun. Well, come back. I'll sit here as long as people are here. I'd like to get a scalp in myself. As I showed you, 497 is well below 847. I Elvin, I still need to show you Fibonacci's. Well, I'm glad you're happy. It makes me feel good. I know I sound like an old man, and I don't know. I ain't crazy about my voice, um, but the fact that you guys are thanking me and enjoyed the stream, I'm very happy. One of these days, I'm going to trade live for y'all, but the problem is I can't talk and trade. I can tell you why I took that trade after the trade's over, but I have to will the market. Conan the Barbarian. Yeah. It I just don't know how you can focus. I mean, your brain's talking, so you would think your mouth could be running at the same time saying what you're thinking, but maybe it's because your brain starts thinking about what's coming out of your mouth. Okay, anybody going to report earnings, I wonder? Oh, I guess so. You have a great weekend as well. I appreciate you being here. If you ever, you can DM me any questions you got. Contact me anywhere. I'm always more than happy to help anyone. Have a good night. Great weekend.